These feathered giants have the longest wingspan of any bird, up to 11 feet. The wandering albatross is the biggest of some 24 different species. Firstly, let us look into some important features of the wandering albatross. Average weight, 5.9 to 12.7 kg. Average length, 107 to 135 cm. Wingspan, 3.1 meter to 3.5 meter. Estimated world population, 26,000. Feeding and diet. The mainstay of the albatross diet is fish, squid, and crustaceans which are caught at night at the sea surface, or in shallow dives. They will also follow boats and ships of any type for discarded food, especially fishing boats where fish offal from gutted and filleted fish may be thrown overboard. Conservation status. Vulnerable, many populations are in a long-term decline as a result of losses from longline fisheries. The slow breeding rate of these long-lived birds means they are slow to recover. Albatrosses use the formidable wingspans to ride the ocean winds, and sometimes to glide for hours without rest, or even a flap of their wings. They also float on the sea's surface, though the position makes them vulnerable to aquatic predators. Albatrosses drink salt water, as do some other seabirds. The birds rarely flap their wings that can measure up to 3.5 meters in span. They are gliding birds that swoop low over the never-ending swell of the Southern Ocean, using the energy of the wind to gain height and then the potential energy of the height to glide down again, and gain distance in a process known as dynamic soaring, that allows them to fly into the wind using the energy of the wind itself. They are able to fly continuously and cover vast distances with the minimum of effort, 950 km per day at an average speed of 40 km per hour for days, or weeks on end is a typical trip average. One bird was tracked circling Antarctica in 46 days. There is a mechanism within the base of the wing to lock it in an extended position so the bird doesn't need to strain to keep its arms out. Albatrosses have many more slow-twitch fibers in their flight muscles than do other birds, which do the job of making continuous small adjustments to the wing during gliding flight rather than having fast twitch fibers for flapping flight. Albatross flight is achieved from a combination of the winds that blow around the Southern Ocean, those long thin high aspect ratio wings, an assemblage of muscles for constant fine-tuning of the three-dimensional attitude of the wings, and an onboard bird brain that controls those muscles, while also being prepared to set out on journeys of a week or two, that cover more distance than most birds in a year. They may also use rising waves to gather energy to lift them into the air. The wave rises and pushes air with it, which in turn lifts the albatross. Studies have shown that albatrosses flying in favorable winds use only a little more energy than they do when resting on land. These long-lived birds have reached a documented 50 years of age. They are rarely seen on land and gather only to breed, at which time they form large colonies on remote islands. Mating pairs produce a single egg and take turns caring for it. Young albatrosses may fly within 3 to 10 months, depending on the species, but then leave the land behind for some 5 to 10 years until they themselves reach maturity for breeding. Some species appear to mate for life. Albatrosses feed primarily on squid or schooling fish, but are familiar to mariners because they sometimes follow ships in hopes of dining on handouts or garbage. Albatrosses have a special place in maritime lore and superstition, most memorably evoked in Samuel Taylor Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Some albatross species were heavily hunted for feathers that were used as down, and in the manufacture of women's hats. The Laysan albatross was important to the indigenous hunters of the northern seas. Excavations of Aleut and Eskimo settlements reveal many albatross bones and suggest that the birds were an important part of human diet in the region. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and press the bell icon.